All right. Well, welcome everybody. I want to welcome you to my very first and my very last Zoom call of 2016. So I'm so thankful that you could join us. I'm going to cover a couple of things, and Rossi's going to cover something before I introduce my special guest, who I love dearly. Some of you, most of you, I think, have heard my story, but just in case, I'm going to let you know who I am. My name is Darci Darlington. I'm a rancher's wife, a dance teacher, and the nana for 17 grandbabies. I used to be a part of another network marketing company. It was a party-driven company, and I worked really, really hard with not a whole lot to show for it. And my lovely daughter, Rossi, was a part of that network marketing company. Well, then she jumped ship and joined this dumb company called Plexus. And I was really mad at her. So she kept putting these posts on Facebook, which you're all familiar with, annoying posts. And so I did what any loving mother would do. I blocked her. Well, my health got to be such an issue that my husband begged me to get a hold of Rossi to see if Plexus might be something that would help me. So I finally did. I sent her the little emoji with the chicken with its head in the toilet, flushing the toilet, and asked her to tell me about Plexus. Well, the rest is kind of history, because 3 weeks later, rather than feel like an 80-year-old who, as I said, I'm a dance teacher, my choreography was limited. It prevented me from teaching several times, but I now feel like I'm 30 years old. And I had no intentions of doing another network marketing business, because I worked my tail end off and had very little to show for it. Well, when something affects your life that much, you can't help but talk about it. And so people call it an accidental business, and I guess I'll call it that too, because I really wasn't intending on doing that. But it has blessed my life in so many ways. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. Tonight, I wanted to say too that aside from the health, that is huge in my life, because I want more time to spend with my loved ones. I want more time to spend doing things that I want to do. And so my health is a huge thing. But the personal growth, I think there's several of you that can attest, the personal growth that you receive when you are part of a company like this is invaluable as well. And not only that, the friendships. This is my family. When Christmas vacation was going on, we were snowed in, and I was with my husband, and I love him dearly, but I was with my husband. I wasn't with any of my 17 grandbabies. And so people are going off, and doing their Christmas things. And I'm like, I want my Plexus family. That's my social outlet. So I'm very thankful for it for a lot of different reasons. How many of you, by a raise of hands, get your product for free? Do you get your product for free? Okay. How many of you would like to get your product for free? Yes. Okay. So what we're going to be doing on my page is I'm going to start Silver in 7. It's not really an event. What it is, it's information and videos that will help you go silver in 7 days. What does it mean to go silver? Well, to go silver, that means that you found 3 people to join you that purchase a welcome pack. Each time you have someone join you and they purchase a welcome pack, if they purchase the $99 one, you get a $25 business building bonus. And if they purchase the $199, you get a $50 business building bonus. Not only that, and you also, let me just stress this, you do not have to wait before you have your own testimony. Somebody told you about Plexus. You can trust their testimony and begin posting. And you want to be faithful and committed to post every day, because people are going to have, especially the new year, they want to make resolutions and that kind of thing. But me, I'm 57 years old. I started having issues, and I wanted to know where to go. You want people to know where to go when they have these issues in their health. And so it's important to continue to post. Well, when they reorder the next month, each person, those 3 people, we're just going to go with the 3 people because that's how you go silver. When they reorder again, then it's 5 points. Well, it's like the stock market, and each point is worth around $3. And so for those 3 people, you earn an additional $45. Plus, you make commissions off of all of that. Plus, when you get those 3 people, you get a $100 bonus. So that's why it's important to go silver as quickly as you can. You get your products paid for. And it's residual income. Network marketing is the most genius, brilliant industry ever. So you're part of a great company, Plexus. You put the recipe together of stellar products, great business plan, great company and you have the recipe for success, there are things that you need to do, and social media, which I'm hoping Cheryl will touch on that, plays a huge part of that. So anyway, that's what going silver means, and it's important to post daily. Okay, so Rossi, you're there? Is Rossi there? Okay, so Rossi, will you unmute yourself? Rossi's going to talk a little bit about the event that we have starting on January 2nd, the New Year, New You event, and to kind of help explain it a little bit. So Rossi, if you'd unmute yourself and take it away.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much time because I'm super excited to hear what Cheryl has to say. She's amazing, and I've learned so much from her. So the New Year, New You challenge is, I kind of had an epiphany the other night while I was watching TV in the hotel room when we were in San Francisco. We went on a great little family getaway. But I was watching a Hallmark show, and a Nicorette, is that what it's called? Nicorette, I think, commercial came on. And they said something so profound. So we've been focusing on our why. Why are we doing this? You know, we have health issues, we have financial issues, we have all of these things in our why. We've been stressing how our why needs to be so big so that nothing can get in the way of that. You know, our why is so important that the naysayers won't get in the way, doubt won't get in the way, belief won't get in the way. We'll do anything to reach our goals, our end result, our why. Well, on this Nicorette commercial, he said, every great why needs a great how. And I'm like, that's it. So we all know our why. It's easy to come up with our why, but we need the how to get there. So as I was laying there, I couldn't sleep that whole night. I'm thinking, and things are rolling around in my brain. And I'm like, you know, there's so many, we have a great collaboration of people on our team. We have a great collaboration of people on our sidelines. Cheryl is an amazing sideline. And if we put our passions, you know, we each work differently. We each have things that work for us, and some things work for one person but won't work for another person. So it was this moment where I'm like, what if we bring all of our, we collaborate all of these people on our team, all of these amazing leaders, and we take the best of each of them and present it to everyone else and to each other and build off of that and take away certain things from everyone. So the New You, or New Year, New You is kind of that. It's a collaboration of great minds coming together, sharing what has worked for them as far as the business goes, what has worked for them as far as health goes, you know, recipes. It's going to have all kinds of stuff that will give you guys and give all of us and give all of our potential customers that how, you know, something to build on, a way to get to their why, because it's easy to throw that out there and say, establish your why, develop your why. Well, then we need the steps to get there. And so that's what this New Year, New You challenge is going to be, is every great why needs a great how. So I want to bring together all of these great minds and present lots of different hows that will work to get you guys to your why. Because that's why we're all doing this, is we want to see the results. So in order to see the results, you have to be willing to take those steps. So we're going to present the tools that have worked for us, and hopefully it will help all of you guys. And I know I'll glean from it. There's things I'm continually learning and changing and all of that. So that's kind of what this January challenge is going to be. So I don't know if that explains it well, or if you need me to explain it more, I can.
Well, and I think that everybody can invite people to join this. If you have potentials, if you have ambassadors, if you have customers, invite them, but ask them first if it's okay to be invited. So, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So now, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Cheryl Wood. Cheryl is an emerald, right? Or your ruby. See, you're on your way to emerald.
Senior ruby.
No.
Well, hilarious. Please do. I'm a senior ruby. Yes, ma'am. I'm not quite emerald just yet.
You will be.
God's working on me. Something fierce over here.
And Cheryl actually has a contest going for her people where the winner of the one who has the most ambassadors in a couple months, December and January, they get to come to our ranch. And Kathy, you've been to our ranch, so my Wisconsin person's been to our ranch. So I'm very excited. Her page is one I go to. I follow her. I admire her. She's one of my friends that I just treasure. So anyway, take it away, Cheryl.
Oh my gosh. First of all, you're so incredible and so amazing, and you girls inspire me so much. Just being around you and your energy and your heart, I just love you guys so much, and thank you for asking me to even be a part of this. I'm beyond honored, beyond flattered, because I'm just in the same boat y'all are, as learning all the time, growing all the time, figuring out what the heck I'm doing all the time. And I think by the grace of God, I got very lucky this year. We've had a very wildly successful year with an amazing team, which I believe has a lot to do with kind of, they say your vibe attracts your tribe. I think the energy, you put out into the atmosphere is kind of the energy you're going to get back into your team. So I try really hard to be always positive and motivating and uplifting. And so I just jotted down a couple things. I'm going to just kind of race through and share what I have with you. And then I want to open it up for any questions you guys have or anything you want me to cover more. Darci, I'd love to just go over whatever you would like. So the first thing I want to share with you guys, because I don't know if Darci's ever shared this with your team or if you guys do this or not already, but I preach to my team all the time about having a vision board and a dream board. And I will tell you what, since I started, I made my dream board with gold was my first goal, and I had my gold on there and the month I was going to go gold and just all the vision on there. And so I had to make a new dream board because I got all those. I checked them all off my list, and I had to get a new dream board because every single one of them came true. And I am a huge believer in putting it into the atmosphere and putting it in your face and having it on paper and seeing it in front of you, that it makes it become a reality, because God is a good God. And if you are like, okay, God, I'm focused on this, you show me the way to get there and I'll do it. This is what my heart is desiring, and God wouldn't put it in your heart if he didn't want you to reach that, right? So one of my dream boards, I actually have 3 dream boards up in my bedroom, but I had my husband go grab one right now so I could show you guys. So this would be my newest one that I did. And super easy to make a dream board. I don't know if you guys can see it all. So I just went to like Google and printed off pictures and cut them out off my computer, printed them out, or you can get a magazine. I have some that are like dreams for other things, but this is my specific Plexus dream board. So I put it, and I put the date I was going to get it, and I don't always get it at the right time because I know it's in his timing, right? But I put it there to just be focused, like, okay, this is what I'm heading for, and in my time frame, this is the amount of work I need to do every day to get there. So but seeing this every day, I don't know about you guys, but that kind of reminds me and inspires me, and it makes me remember, like, okay, focus, where was I? Because I'm a little bit of like all over the place sometimes. And I'm kind of like the big picture thinker, I'm not like a spreadsheet girl. I'm not a detail girl. That's Andrea. Andrea is my go-to. I'm like, Andrea, what did I miss? Check my thing, check my post. And she's like, okay, you need to put this, you need to change that. And that's why we work so well together, because she kind of gets my back on the details and the little things I miss, because I'm just like, let's do it. Let's have a challenge group. And I'm like, let's do it. And they're like, hold on, let's get the details down. So it works really well for us. So I encourage you to try and find a power partner where you balance each other pretty well on things, because we all have strengths and we all have some weaknesses. So I'm going to go through my list that I have, just some things I want to cover. And if you have any questions or anything, we can wait till the end, and then I will go back over everything. So if I'm going too fast, somebody just like wave and slow me down, because I can get on a good one and not stop. So, okay, the first thing is the dream board, dreaming big and doing all that. I totally believe in that. And I believe also in personal growth, personal development. I spend a lot of time reading books on that and watching videos. Anytime you are doing the dishes or the laundry or driving in your car, I take my phone and I put on a video of someone, John Maxwell, Jim Rohn, anyone who's going to say something that might trigger something in my head and grow me into a better leader or a better person, a better listener, a better friend, anything. Because if I stay at the level that I'm at age 35 and I just never grow from here, my business can't grow from here either. My personal life, my relationships, nothing can grow past what I'm at. So I need to grow as a person all the time into someone more, someone better, someone kinder, a better listener, all the different things, and then my business can grow with that as well. I personally love reading John Maxwell books. I think he's amazing. I'm in the middle of one right now. I don't know about you guys. I like tear up my book. I write all over it. I take notes in it. I'm a very active reader and active, intentional with my personal growth to grow and change and evaluate myself. Okay, how did I do? Like after this call, I might go back and watch it and say, okay, how did I do? What did I do? How could I have communicated better? How could I have shared something better? How could I have made the point come across better? Things like that, constantly evaluating what I've done to be better in the future every day. So that's something we can all work on no matter what level you're at. You can pop on a video. They're free. YouTube is like this free mecca of information for us that we need to take advantage of. It's free. You go to YouTube and type in personal growth and it's at your fingertips. So anytime I'm doing something, have that playing in your background, doing laundry, doing dishes, instead of the TV being on or even the radio, which I love, but being intentional with your time. You can be folding laundry and listening to personal growth and personal development, being really intentional with that time to where it doesn't mean, okay, I need to separate and set down 30 minutes to watch this video and can't do anything else. No, you can listen to a video while you fold socks. It'll be okay. Like I know I'm a lot of moms, I'm sure you guys, that'll be a piece of cake for you. And even when driving, I just set it down next to me and listen to it, not watching it, but just listening to it because it soaks into your subconscious. So always having something kind of learning and growing us. And then I love the saying of stop with the BS. And what BS stands for is being selfish. I don't know what you thought it stood for, but it stands for being selfish. Stop being selfish. We have some amazing products that can literally change lives. And if you are being selfish because you're scared to share it or because you are being selfish and worried about what people are going to think about you or people are going to talk about you or what's my family going to think, all kinds of things that we end up telling ourselves in our brain, stop the BS and just share and just put your heart out there and put everything on the line. And, you know, my team kind of grew really fast. I started January of last year. I'm a senior Ruby now. We're pushing towards Emerald. You know, I see it maybe happening in February or March for Emerald. But I want to say, you know, you see someone go senior Ruby and you're like, how'd you do it? Tell me what you did. What's the secret? What's this? What's that? And that's kind of how I was too in the beginning. When somebody like promoted, I was like, okay, tell me what you did. What'd you do? It's not like you just went senior Ruby. It's literally the habit that you do every single day that gets you there. So for me, since I started, every single day, it's been, okay, let me sit down and let me reach out to people. Let me get on my phone, send messages and voice messages and do that boring IPA that no one wants to do and sit down and do it. And it's just a habit of doing that every single day. There's people I started reaching out to in February that are still like, okay, maybe I'll hear what you have to say. I mean, I'll have like message after message after message of them just ignoring me. Anytime I get a chance to reach out, I just keep reaching out until they tell me straight up, I want nothing to do with this, leave me alone, which has only happened twice. I just consider it as they're not ready right now. It's not their time, and that's okay. Because it wasn't my time for a long time either. I watched Andrea post for months and never commented, never liked, wanted nothing to do with it. And then when it was my time, she happened to put a post out that spoke to me. That's our job, is just to keep putting ourselves out there and hope that the one time that like they need something, that we speak to them. And this week is the perfect time. Everyone just had Christmas. They're all kind of winding down. They have to go back to work. Jobs they don't like, maybe. They spent all this money. They probably ate all this bad food, and now they're kind of like, I want to change. I want something new. The new year, a new me, new life, new this, new that. For some reason, everyone thinks like this whole new year is a perfect time to just change their life. When we can all change our life any day, any moment. We could be like, okay, I'm changing my life right this second. But because of the way our society is, we need a calendar to tell us like, now's when you can change. So we need to use that to our advantage, to take advantage of that timing on the calendar to reach out to people and use that as an excuse to be like, okay, this girl has ignored me for months, or last time I talked, she said money was tight, or last time we messaged, it just wasn't the right time for whatever reason. I'm jumping on. I'm like, hey girl, Merry Christmas. I'd love seeing the pictures of you and your kids. Everything looks great. I wanted to extend an invitation to you. Well, my team is doing like a challenge, but you guys have your challenge that you're doing that you could reach out to people for, or even just say, the New Year's right around the corner, and I wanted to just know if you had any health goals I could help you reach with Plexus. I'd love to share it with you. I know it's not for everyone. Maybe now's not the right time for you, and I totally understand, but I just wanted to extend an invitation to you. Something simple like that. And every person I reach out to is a little different based on our history and our relationship, but no one's really off limits at this point. So here's what I do to make it easier, because like I said, I don't have like a chart or a graph or anything perfect where I'm like, okay, on this date, I don't have an Excel spreadsheet of the dates I checked on them. And no, I'm like all over the place. I look back at my Messenger and go, okay, what did we talk about? Okay, let me talk. That's how I keep track on my Messenger. But the way I go through all my friends is I'll pull up my Facebook on my computer and go to my friends, and I'll go to the newest, when you go to your friends, you have the option to see recent posts. So I'll go to those people because I know those people are active on their Facebook. They're involved, they're doing stuff, they're posting, and I'll scroll through, get past all the Plexus people because that's what's up on top, and I'll get to all my other friends and I'll see them on there, and on my phone I'll just go, okay, I haven't talked to her, type in the Messenger, leave them a message, boom, next friend, boom. And I can go through and do 20, 30, 40 friends. Before I got on this call, that's what I was doing actually. I think I messaged probably 30 people, just going through that. So I have this beautiful list right in front of me. It's like a Frank's list handed to me with Facebook, and on my phone I'm just messenger, sending them all out. And I think I have like 1,000 friends or something. So there's no way I've gone through everyone. There's no way. But my goal is to get through everyone by the 31st. So tomorrow I'll start again and go through the list. And if you don't remember who you talked to last, in your Messenger, it shows you message them on this day, here's what you said. Or you can listen to what you said. And I listened, I'm like, man, I sounded really boring. I'm gonna have to spice this one up. Or whatever it was. And that's kind of how I run my business. It's definitely not the most organized system, so it may or may not work for you. I will tell you, I do have a whiteboard up. This is my office. It's a desk in the middle of my living room, and it's a little bit chaotic, but I have a whiteboard where I put people on like a dream team list on one side, and then the other side is where they get moved to when they're on my team. So it's kind of like my level ones are kind of on the left, and then on the right side is like the dream people. And those are the people that I go to their page first, comment, like all the posts, really active with those people. And I'm constantly adding to that list. I'll show it to you guys right now. Actually, it's right in front of me. Ugh. So this is what sits kind of in front of me. So over here is the people on my team, and then I kind of put their goals, like who's going for silver, who's going for gold, or what we're working with them. And this side is like my dream board, my dream people, right? So this girl's a check because she signed up last night. She joined. So once they join, they get to come off this side and move over here. And then this girl joined too. This girl I met at the water park in June, and we kept in touch. I kept bugging her until she finally signed up like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, finally. But you know what? It's in God's timing. I really, truly in my heart don't want someone to sign up before they're ready to. Because then what happens? They're just going to quit or drop off anyway. So I really don't feel like pressuring or rushing them into it. I just try to stay really consistent with following up and just being like a friend. If they post something that I can message them about, I'm like, hey girl, I saw the baby was having, this or that. I hope everything's okay. Whatever it is that you can reach out to them and just be a friend, honestly. Some people don't have any nice, encouraging friends. They really don't. I think, honestly, half the people on my team might have just joined because they wanted someone nice or encouraging to talk to. I think they're like, I don't care what it is, Cheryl, I just want to be a part of it, right? So I wanted to cover really quick too, being an employee versus an entrepreneur. If you were like me, we were raised to go to a job and clock in and work our hours and get paid for our time on those hours, right? So we would trade our time for money. I would trade 8 hours for a day for whatever it is, 10 bucks an hour, 80 bucks minus taxes. Entrepreneur is a totally different mindset where this whole year, if you would count my hours and time that I put into the business, and if I were to get paid for that time, it'd probably be like 10 cents an hour in the beginning, right? Like I was not making the money that was equivalent to the work I was doing. But I was doing that work because at some point you get over the hump of where you're not trading as much time, but the money is more than the time you're working. Let me explain that another way too. So when you start, it's like you work, and then you get a little paycheck. And you're like, oh, that's not equivalent to what I did. But then it's like you keep going, work, paid, work, paid. And then eventually gets to the point where it's like work, paid, paid, work, paid, work. So now it's like I'm getting paychecks every week from Plexus, and I'm like, gosh, I didn't sign anybody this week, and I got paid. That's when it flips with entrepreneur. Is you start with your whole vision of, okay, I'm going to climb up this giant hill to get to the point to where eventually I'm getting paid when I'm not working. So if you can get past that part of like, okay, it's not paying off yet, but I believe in the future and the vision and that it will be that way eventually, then you're kind of like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I see what residual income is. Now I see what building a business is. Now I see what it means to be an entrepreneur. And it's totally different than clocking in and getting a paycheck for my hours. And that's it, you know? So if we could trade our mindset to that, to see it as like building your future for residual income, which once you understand residual income and once you start earning residual income, you will work your booty off to get to residual income. Like, I don't care how hard I have to work right now, because I know by the time I get to diamond, I remember Bridget was saying one time, I saw her at a thing and she was talking about points, and this was a while ago too. She said, you know, we get paid on these points. And like, for example, my points last month were 7,000 points. Well, the points are worth roughly around $3. So if you can do the math, I'm not a math major here, but 7 times 3 is 21,000. That was just one part of her paycheck, right? That took her a year of working her butt off every day, putting in the time and not getting the paycheck that was equivalent to her time then. But now do you see where it's like, okay, now she's getting paid like crazy amount for the work she did, and it's residual. It's coming every month. So that's where I see, I'm like, okay, I will work my butt off. I don't care what it takes until I get to that part where, and I think I'll just never stop working because I love this. I love what I do. But that's the mindset we have to have, where like, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not like we join and we get these massive paychecks right away and we all make all this money. That's not how it works. Or if we did that, then everyone would do it and everyone would be rich and there'd be not enough money to go around, right? It's got to be for the ones who are like willing to be patient, which is one of the hardest things I struggle with, I know, but even in our society in general, especially in the United States, patience is like, what? Patient? I want it now, you know? So being patient, this business has taught me patience beyond anything I could have ever dreamed of, to name a few things. The personal growth that comes with being in Plexus has been amazing. So what I wanted to say to all of you is that we all have the exact same products. We have the exact same comp plan as Bridget Ryan does. So there's no reason why we can't do it. And if you can think of like 5 excuses of why you can't do what she did, then there's the problem right there. Those excuses, you thinking those excuses of why, instead of thinking of 5 reasons of how you're going to do it and let's do it and why not me. Because every single one of you, Darci, Rossi, and then I don't know the rest of you, but it's nice to meet you, Kathy, Rachel, Karen, Marcy, Ricky, Tracy, you guys all can do this. Anyone can do this. It's the same exact comp plan, the same exact business. We all have the same Wi-Fi internet, or you might have to go to a coffee shop and steal their Wi-Fi to do it. If you have a computer or if you have a computer or a smartphone, any one of you can do this. Anyone. All of us, we all have the same thing. And let me just show you an example. So when I'm talking to someone about Plexus or the business side of it, there's 2 ways you can do this. So I want everyone to kind of do like a self-evaluation of yourself and see which way you're doing your business. There's this way. It's just, you know, it's like supplements, it's like health stuff. It's kind of expensive, but if you pay, like maybe you can get something else off and you could pay for it and then it's worth it and you'll probably start feeling better and you could lose weight and like, I don't know, I like it. Maybe you will, I don't really know. I mean, if you want to try it, you can. I have like a site, but I understand if you just like, if it's not the right time. I know it's Christmas and I know like money's tight. Like I get it. Like just whenever, or I'll message you next month or something. Okay. There's like that way to run your business, or there's the total opposite way where you just do it a different way. It's like, hey girl, I hope your Christmas was amazing. I'm sure you probably ate a ton like I did. And you're probably looking to like next year, like, okay, I need to get my health on track here. Like, let's do something. And I tell you, I've been on Plexus. It's amazing. I'm surprised I don't weigh like 500 pounds considering the amount of food I ate this month. And I have to tell you, it's because of Plexus. I can promise you it's done crazy things for me. It's allowed me to live life a little bit and actually be able to enjoy food again, which I was not able to do for so long. I love it. And we're doing this challenge, and January is the perfect time for you to get back on track and just kind of like jumpstart your health and just kind of like do something new and exciting and fun for your life. Like just try it. Like you have nothing to lose. We have a 60-day money back guarantee. You're going to love it. It's going to be awesome. And you're not even going to need to get money back guaranteed because it's going to be So much fun. And you're going to be on the team page, which we do all these like fun prizes and giveaways. And everyone on our team is so motivating and so encouraging. You are going to fit right in. You're going to love it, girl. Do you see the difference? I could be selling you a hot dog and you're like, I want the hot dog. Let's do this. Like, what are, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the good thing for us is that we don't have to lie. We don't have to fake it, because Plexus really is that awesome. We really get to say these things about it. We don't have to say like, I hope it works, because we know it's like amazing. We are so blessed that we don't have to fake the enthusiasm. We don't have to fake that we have products that really change lives and do things. So if you see yourself running your business the first way, I'm not saying that to knock you or to bash you or to bring you down. I'm saying that for you to kind of evaluate yourself and go like, okay, I'm going to try it the other way. I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to get excited. I'm going to put on my favorite song and get me super excited and pumped and in the zone and in the mood and happy and excited and dancing. And then I'm going to do all my reach outs to people. I'm going to message all my friends after I put on that favorite song that makes me happy no matter what. Or after I watch a motivating video from someone else, or if I watch some testimonies where I'm like, oh my God, this changes lives. Oh, I have to tell everyone. And then boom, you're getting on your phone and you're messaging. You want to harness that power when that comes to you. When you feel that in your heart, share it with people. Just get out there and just be like, girl, you got to try this. You got to get on this. And I'm telling you, that energy you put out, you're going to get it back from your team. You're going to get it back from your customers. And it's just going to be this like trickle down effect for everyone around you. Feeling good, feeling positive, and just being excited. You guys, we get paid. We get paid to literally like hang out on Zoom calls and talk and hang out with our girlfriends and tell each other how great they are and motivate each other and inspire each other and be like, girl, I love that post you did. It was so inspiring. Like, who gets paid to do stuff like this? Honestly, like my husband has to go put on a police uniform every day, hang out with bad guys all day long, put his life on the line every day. And I get to sit at home on my phone. Like, it's almost not fair, right? Like what we get to do. It's awesome. So anyway, okay, I think I've talked a lot. I don't know what time it is, but I wanted to give you guys some time to ask questions and all those things. So anybody, anything I can clarify either? I know I talk really fast.
Do you only get your contacts from your friend list?
So for the most part, everyone I know is on my Facebook and is my Facebook friend. Or if I know someone, you can search Facebook by telephone number and find them on Facebook. Occasionally I go through my phone and find some people where I'm like, oh, I forgot about this person, and then I'll text them. I do a lot through text and voice messenger, to be honest. And I was kind of debating like, hey, maybe I should do more calls or more in person. And I was talking to Bridget Ryan about it, because I said, like, I feel like maybe on my part, I'm lacking on building the relationship side or doing that. She said, Cheryl, I built my entire business with voice messenger. If you're going to build a diamond team, you're not going to have time to go meet everyone for coffee and go sit with everyone. You're just not going to have time for it. And the beauty of network marketing, direct sales, is that you're supposed to have this time freedom, right? Like, how do we preach time freedom? If you're going to go meet with, like, she has 300 level 1, she's like, where would my time freedom be if I was literally meeting them all every day or on the phone for an hour with them every day? Like, it just wouldn't work. She said, you can build a relationship with voice messages with everyone, talking to them. They hear you, they can communicate back. It's just a much faster way to do it. So I've done the majority of my stuff is through the voice messenger on Facebook. I do have people in my city around me that I have met for coffee or met at a coffee shop and sign them up and meet with them whenever they have time or I have time. We will meet, because I do believe that in person, training people and having them see you do reaching out and having, like, when they see it, they're like, oh, okay, I can do this, or let's do this. Or we'll sit all of us at a table and I'll be like, all right, girls, let's do this. And I'll just start doing messages. And then they kind of get over their fear and they're like, okay, I'll do one, you know? So when I can do in person, I do, but I have team in Oregon and Hawaii, Tennessee. I mean, and I'm sure you guys all do too. Even some of you on here are probably from all over the place. So most of my stuff is voice messenger, because I want people to hear the excitement and the sincerity in my voice. Texting can be taken any way they want to take it, right? It could be like, hey girl, I really want you to try this Plexus stuff. Like, where you been? What do you, instead of it like, hey girl, I want you to try this, like how you're saying it, they might not get it that way. So I'm always like voice messenger anytime. Even on Instagram, I'm like, hey, do you have a Facebook? It's so much easier to message on there. And if they have one, I go to Facebook every single time and give them a voice message right away so they can hear me. Because my Facebook, I mean, the way I do it, it looks very, not fake, but it's like I have it like a theme, and it's very just like people might not understand that there's like a person behind it, you know, because it's like filters and it's like art to me. But I want them to know I'm just like a real person, and I have a voice, and I care, and I have a heart too. So I'm like always onto the voice messenger. But occasionally I'll go through my phone and see the contacts that I've missed, you know, like cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff. If they're not on Facebook, I can just text them or call them or whatever too.
Cheryl, can you touch a little bit on posting and like what keeping your page from being an infomercial and then making it personal, your posts? Just touch on that, because I know there's some new people on here that could benefit from hearing just the very basic posting information.
Absolutely. And I have a video actually on my YouTube about how I post on my Instagram. You guys can go look at that anytime, but I'll kind of keep it brief because that was my passion when I first started. I said, okay, I did it all the wrong way. I did all the Plexus posts, all the graphics. I went to Google. If there was a graphic, I posted it. And I couldn't understand why people were so annoyed by me. I'm like, but it's really funny. Get it? Because the pink drink makes you happy. Get it? And no one else got it because they weren't drinking the pink drinks. They didn't know. So I took a lot of time to research and learn. I read a book. I watched all the videos I could on training for Instagram, especially. I feel like that's great for the cold market side. And really learn how to post, what to post, and what they call lifestyle posts instead of graphics. So it's okay to do like a product post here and there. Those should be sprinkled in with your lifestyle post. And if you don't think that you have a lifestyle that people want to watch, you need to ask a friend or your upline or Darci to kind of give you some tips and evaluate you and say, look, here's what you have to offer. This is what you need to have translated onto your Instagram and Facebook, because everyone has something to offer, and there's definitely someone out there that you have a niche for that can relate to you, that wants to connect with you in this world. So you have to go with what is true to you. For me, I'm a girl mom, and I have, you know, my husband's a deputy, and, you know, whatever else it happens to be for me. I really try to keep my Instagram true to like what it is for me and like my audience on there, about being a mom. You know, we live in SoCal, like just things like that, and being married to a deputy. And I like really pretty things. I have like OCD and stuff, so I like things that look pretty and look nice, and I think that comes across because I just have OCD. But like with Rossi, we were talking about this when we were at Leaders Retreat, and hers is much different Instagram. It's much more of like that whole, like a rustic feel. It's a very natural, it's very earthy and comforting, and a lot of information on there for homeschooling and moms and Bible quotes and things like that. And that's Rossi, and that's her niche, and that's what her audience wants to see. So if she all of a sudden started posting all these Plexus graphics, they're like, whoa, that's not what we signed up for. We signed up for Rossi and Rossi's life, and we want to see Rossi's life. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting all these commercials up for us? So Rossi can post herself like with her pink drink, and it's still Rossi, and she's just like getting through this day with, you know, whatever, a tire went out or this, that, you know, whatever happens in our mom life. And she's like, thank goodness for this drink today, because all the things that could go wrong did, but whatever, we're getting through it, you know. And people will be like, oh, you know, and they can feel Rossi in that post. Whereas if she posted that Plexus graphic of like, you know, the evil witch and then Cinderella or whatever, the good witch, evil witch, like they're like, that's not really Rossi. That doesn't really translate. Like, it doesn't make sense. So Rossi's lifestyle post, she has to figure out how to just sprinkle in Plexus into all of her posts. And it doesn't have to be every single post. It just needs to be, you know, every day or every other day, something related to Plexus. And once you start getting in the business more, you can do more of the business side, where it's like working from my phone, or I snuck off to the coffee shop to get away from the kids to do some work. Those are the business side posts. And then the product posts are, how does the product fit into your life every day? Like sometimes people have it like on their nightstand, their probiotic, you know. If you have like a really pretty nightstand set out, then you take a picture of that and be like, my nightly ritual, couldn't live without these things. And that's it, something simple like that. Instead of, you know, a big giant Plexus graphic with a probiotic on it, people are like, what? There's no heart there. There's no connection there. So I will admit every once in a while I'll do like a graphic type of post, but it's very rare. And I don't leave it up very long. Like I'll put it up for like a day. If there's like a sale or something, I'll put it up for like a day or two. And then I go through and delete it because I want my Instagram to have that same vibe to it. But the biggest thing with Instagram is putting in those hashtags. I will tell you, if you don't put hashtags on your Instagram posts, it's like you have the storefront with the doors closed and the lights out. No one can find your post. No one can see your post. No one even knows you're there. So you got to go through, and you can go back to your old posts and just hashtag things. You can hashtag, for me, like examples would be like, girl mom, or even Christmas, or matching PJs, just anything that people are going to be searching, or maybe like moms kind of look through, or just whatever it is that's your niche. And if you don't know your niche, I'm telling you, your best friend, your mom, your sister, somebody will turn around and go, no, this is you. Let me tell you, you're this, and this. And they will tell you for you, because for you or for us, we don't know what our brand is. We're like, I don't know. I just live my life. Like, this is just me. What's my brand? Like, someone outside of yourself can tell you really clearly, like, this is your brand. Like on my team, there's a girl who, she's a nurse and she's a mom of boys and they all play football. I'm like, that's your brand, sister. Being a nurse, you need to harness that. And the boy mom thing, you need to go with that and stick to that when you're doing all your posts, especially like, I'm sorry, I'm not a nurse, but I want to see what it's like. I want to see on your lunch break in the cafeteria, like what it's like there. Like that stuff's kind of like interesting to me because I'm not a nurse. I don't see that every day. Right. So, but for her, that was every day. That was the norm. She's like, no one cares what the cafeteria looks like. I'm like, of course they do. Like, put your break, put your like feet and your scrubs up on the table and be like, my 10-minute break in the cafeteria. This is what, my life is right now, or something funny like that. I think that's interesting, right? So you got to find kind of what is all about you, and then just put it out there in like the prettiest way you can. I'll say like the most appealing to the eye, because Instagram is all about appealing photos, and Facebook is more, I always say this, Instagram are like the photos you frame and put on your wall, and Facebook is like that family album with all the pictures in it where there's the mess ups or the not so good ones, but people will still look through it. That's Facebook. Facebook, you can put the whole album up there and all the photos and people will look through it. Instagram, they want like the best of the best. They want to see the goods, right? I hope that kind of answers that question. I can go into detail about all that stuff for an hour, but I won't go on too much about it unless there's any other specific questions for it.
Well, and I was going to add to that, rather than just share posts, we're one Plexus. So any team page that you happen to like their post, you can use that post if you want to, but you don't want to just hit the share button. You want to copy and paste it, download the picture, and add that so that it looks, more personal, and you can give credit to whoever, the original post came from. One of the things that, when you were talking about belief and energy, Cheryl, I know that as a Christian, if I'm not reading my Bible, then I'm not being fed. What's coming out of me is what's going in is going to come out. So the personal growth is huge. The testimonies that you can watch and that you can learn. I have a friend who he's like 65 years old. He went to the doctor. The doctor told him, if I didn't know you better, I would think I was looking at the blood work of a 44-year-old. Those are awesome. Those are the reason why I do what I do. These products are life-changing. And so the more that you learn about that and the more that you find out about that, the more that naturally comes out of you. And network marketing is a brilliant industry. And somebody said that, if somebody asks you, are you part of a network marketing company? Heck yeah. Why would I do anything else? That's because I've learned about that industry. I wanted to ask you, Rossi, there's different paces of working the business. I don't have anybody at home, so I can spend a lot of time working my business. I love learning. I'm like you, Cheryl. I love the personal growth part of it. I'd be bored to death if I didn't have that. So Rossi, when you first started, what was your pace? Are you there?
Yes. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. So when I started, I didn't have a lot of time, and I still hold to the same mindset that I'm not willing to sacrifice a lot of how I live my life and homeschooling and what I do with the kids. There's not a lot of sacrifice there, and I refuse to sacrifice those things. And so in the beginning, I really worked the business on 15 minutes a day, but I was consistent in that 15 minutes a day, and I nailed it every time. I didn't scroll through Facebook and, and get sidetracked or whatever. I was very intentional about what I was doing in that 15 minutes every day. And that was what I was willing to do. Now, growing a team, I cannot do everything in 15 minutes. So I realized that there are things that I can sacrifice. No more novels about the Amish, no more, there are things that I can sacrifice without sacrificing the things that are important to me and actually are my network of people. My homeschooling, like Cheryl said, my homeschooling community, that's my people. Minimizing and simplifying life, those are my people. The way we eat, those are my people. So I still want to make sure that I'm investing time in those things and not slacking in that. But I've had to free up more of my time, and it's doable for anyone. And so now it's about an hour a day. But going back to my 15 minutes a day, and if you're consistent, I think a lot of people will say, oh, but I'm doing all the right things. I am investing the right time. I think a lot of people aren't really being honest with themselves, or they're dawdling their time away, or, there's something missing. Because if I can do it in 15 minutes a day, really anybody can. I have a full 7 kids, and, we homeschool and we go places, and we're in 4-H, and all my kids have animals, and we live on a farm. If I can do it in 15 minutes a day, anybody can. So I think it's getting real with yourself, getting real with what are you doing with your time, and is there time you can sacrifice? Stop watching the TV. Like Cheryl said, I love music, but I don't listen to a lot of music anymore. I'm listening to podcasts and filling my mind. And it's true what Mom said too. You are what you eat. And that's why in body, we are what we eat. In our mind, we are what we eat. And so whatever we're filling ourselves with is going to come out our pores, out our mouth, out our lifestyle. And so, you determine what's going to come out of you. And so investing your time well and being honest with yourself and how you're managing your time. So my 15 minutes a day, but even before I got my product, so I signed up to be an ambassador. Bridget helped me out with that. Before I even got my product, I went silver. So I did what Mom said. I trusted my friends. I trusted their testimonies. I saw what Plexus was doing for them. I had belief that wasn't even made by myself, or by me taking the product. I had belief simply in what I saw and what I knew and the people that I knew and what I was seeing there. So I went silver in that first week. So the first Wednesday after I signed up, I had a check for $75, or it was in my pay portal, $75. And then my first actual Plexus paycheck for the 15th of the next month was over $200. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. And if I can do it on 15 minutes a day, anybody can do it. I literally went to Ruby on 15 minutes a day. Once I got to Ruby, I'm like, I better step up my game a little bit and, push myself. I'm not leadership. I've never done anything like this. Like I've said in other Zoom calls, I've lived my life, 18 years of managing little people, my kids. That's all. I'm not a leader, but it's mindset. It's what you're filling your mind with. And once I started filling my mind with people like John Maxwell and listening to some of our amazing Plexus leaders, I started to feel like maybe I can do it, pushing a little bit harder. Cold calling was something I was like, Bridget, I will never, ever, ever cold call somebody and talk to somebody about Plexus that I don't know them. But it's all pouring into yourself. You're able to do a little bit more and it gets easier. Now cold calling, like, psh, you can do 50 of those, no problem at all. And I feel nothing because I have belief in the company. I've listened to the videos. I take my products. I order them every month. And, I have belief there. I know that what I'm giving them is good stuff. And so there's no shame in my game at all. Like no shame. So anyway, sorry, I went off on a little tangent, but if I can do it, anybody can. I didn't have Wi-Fi. I did have to go to Starbucks and use their internet. I didn't have it. I had a broken phone with 2 gigs of data and 7 kids and living in a tiny 13-foot camper trailer. If I can do it, anybody can. I didn't even have a toilet. So I would bring my, whatever I could. Any time that I could, I would spend, minutes at a time. I've heard the concept being a master of moments. You know, if you have a moment, a free moment, get a cold call in there. Or even beyond that, I think building relationships, because that's one thing I always want to make sure that I'm building a relationship. I'm not just selling stuff to people. I'm selling stuff to people who have a why too. You know, maybe a health challenge, or maybe they're having a financial burden, you know, and remembering that it's not a paycheck to me. It's not just worth 5 points to me. It's remembering that what I'm presenting is to a people who also have a why, just like I did, and being sensitive to that. So building the relationship, getting to know people. You know, if I haven't talked to somebody in a long time, I'm not going to send them a message that says, hey, have you heard about Plexus? I'm going to make sure I have a relationship with them in some kind of basis with them, and grow that before I, you know, and learn what their need is, what their why is. And so it's not just a dry, stale sales pitch, you know. So establishing, making sure that I have a relationship, that I know what their why is, and I'm being sensitive to that. So anyway, all that in a nutshell, what I'm really trying to say is if I can do it, anybody can do it. So
that's a fact. All right, we're getting close to the end here, and I know, Cheryl, I've got an event that I'm going to be joining you with. I think.
Yes.
Yay!
So anyway, does anybody else have any quick questions?
I do. It's Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey, so I have a question about follow-ups, because Darci, we've talked about how I get confused, you know, with who to go with. Cheryl, you're saying you never stop following up with somebody, but if somebody's shown interest and it's been a few months, I've heard the takeaway method, and now I'm not really sure which one. You know, have you tried both and seen, like, just not saying, you know, well, hey, we've talked about this for a long time. I can tell you're not ready for it at this time. I'm going to take you off my list. Have you tried that at all, or do you just prefer to not even do that and just continue messaging people?
A great question. So I've heard of that method as well, and I have people on my team who do that method, and I've heard Bridget, everyone talks about that method. I have yet to do that, and the only reason I haven't is because I feel like my business has still constantly grown to the point of where I don't feel like I need to do that to anyone yet. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, that I won't ever try it, but I'm saying I haven't done it yet. My method is really that I always just kind of want to bring something to the table for them, maybe something new, or even just checking in with them, or just seeing how they're doing. I feel like when the time is right for them, they're going to do it. Now, if I wanted to be more aggressive in my business, I suppose I could go through and be like, you know, that whole method of, I'll just go ahead and take you off my list. It doesn't seem like this is for you. But for me, first of all, I don't want to make an empty threat, because I'm never going to take someone off my list until they sign up on my team, or until they flat out tell me, I'm not interested, leave me alone. Which, when they do that, I've had one friend do that to me, a friend who I've literally known since she was born, told me, I'm not interested, I don't want anything to do with it. And I said, thank you for being honest. I appreciate your honesty, and I will not bother you about this anymore. We can still be friends, right? I still make sure I'm on her page, commenting on all her posts, and being a friend and being there for her and showing her that, hey, I'm still me. Like, we still have this 35-year friendship history. Like, it's still me here. You don't have to, like, shun me now. Because I feel like at some point in everyone's life, they're going to have that point when they need something, when they're either their health scare, or they don't want to go back to work, or they see, like, something's going to happen to where they're going to be like, okay, and if I've shut that door on them and said, like, I'm going to take you off my list, like, kind of, I don't know, just for me personally, it works for others, and that's great. I just haven't done that. And even to my friend, I still consider her on my list. I just don't message her about it anymore. But in my heart, I know she would be, first of all, she needs the products because she's had miscarriages in the past. She's had issues in the past. Her health, you know, I know she needs these products. Second of all, I love her and I want her to feel good and have that energy. You know, she's a new mom and stuff, and I know she needs them in my heart. And so I'll never give up or quit on anyone, but I understand that method of pulling away and this and that. I'll take you off my list and stuff. I haven't done it yet. I just don't see the need to do it. I just find another thing to talk to them about. If it's not Plexus, I'll just comment on whatever they posted. If they posted something on their page, instead of just commenting there, I'll send them a private message just to reconnect. I'll be like, hey girl, I just saw that you posted that the kids were sick again. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys get well better, or get better soon, something like that. I just try to keep the relationship going. And I'm just a believer in the positive. I just like being positive. So if you've tried that method, I'm curious to see, has that worked for anyone? I think Bridget swears she's done it a couple times, but I'm more of the kind where I'm like, hey girl, our team's giving $10 back to sign up right now. I know money was tight before, and I just wanted to share this special with you. I just like to present it to you. No pressure. Just wanted to let you know, because I know before money was tight, whatever. My whole thing is like, I'm just giving you information and you can do what you want with it. That's like my mindset for people. And you know what I want to say too, a little bit aside from this, but how Rossi was talking about, people and everything. The second we join Plexus, it is no longer about ourselves. It's like no longer about me and my goals and what I want and my dreams. And I didn't learn that right up front. That's something you grow to learn. But at first I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay, how do I go silver? How do I go gold? How do this? And then all of a sudden, you have this mind shift where you're like, it's not about me. It's really not. It's about who I can help, what lives I can change, who I can help to feel better. When people text you and tell you thank you, you've changed my life. Thank you. I've had stomach issues for 15 years. Thank you. When a husband writes, thank you, I got my girl back. Thank you. That right there for me, I'm like, amen, I'm done. Doesn't matter. I would do this to not get paid, because the life-changing stuff, and it's not about me anymore. So as soon as you realize, okay, it's not about me, use me, God, who can I help? Who needs this? Who needs me? Who needs these products? I'm open to it. I'm available to it. Instead of being that closed off, I'm nervous, or I'm scared, or I don't want to bother people, or I don't want, I keep messaging her. I'm like, oh, well, until she messages me and says, Cheryl, leave me alone. Stop messaging me. Girl, you're annoying. Then I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, But if that bubble just keeps going down and they keep listening and they keep checking it, then I'm like, you're fair game, sister, because at some point you might need this. And I got to keep telling you about it. I got to keep sharing with you, So I think the biggest thing is, when people see, if I sign a lot of people in 1 month and they're like, how do you do it? How'd you do it? I'm telling you guys, I have at any point over 100 people I have messages going with all the time. I can go through my phone and literally my messenger doesn't even have them all in there, because I'm always I'm keeping this pod of people always available at any time. And it's they're like this in this little balloon, and I'm I just keep messaging, and then every month a couple of people drop down and they join the team, and I'm like, hey, welcome to the team, But this pod is full of people all the time. And the more and more people you can get into that pod to just have those seeds planted, have those relationships built, have those people there, by the time it comes to a special or promotion, all of a sudden I'm able to add 10 people. People are like, well, how'd you do it? I'm like, well, for 6 months, I've had these people in this pod that I've been talking to, that I've been annoying and driving crazy. And when I told them about the special, 10 of them dropped out of 500 or whatever it is in there. So I think your goal should just be to get as many people in your pod of relationships and communication and reaching out and all that, to have them there all the time, at any time. And I noticed in November, I kind of had a personal slowdown, and I just wasn't doing my IPA. And I noticed the pod, it's almost people kind of disappear from the pod, and they didn't come to the team, right? They're just kind of trickled away. And I'm like, oh my God. So as soon as December happened, I had to refill that and reestablish relationships and re-talk to everyone and be like, I'm here, I'm back. And I didn't let anybody really kind of see this on my team page or my personal wall or like that, but doing the actual relationship side, I felt the difference, because for me, it was a very slow month when it didn't have to be, it was my fault. I'll take full responsibility for it. And so December right now, I spent the first 3 weeks of December filling up that pot again. And I didn't care that it's Christmas and that Christmas people aren't thinking about health and wellness and that. I don't care. I'm still talking to you, girl. I'm still telling you about it. I'm still sharing it with you. And I'm still letting you know, if this Christmas you are stressed about money, let's get you on this so that next Christmas you can pay cash for Christmas. Yeah, let's do this, So okay, I could go on forever. I'm sorry. I know the time. Rachel, did that kind of answer your question though? Because I know people have that method, and it's really personal for what you feel is right for you, honestly. And it's going to be a little trial and error at first to see what works best.
Yeah, no, that was really helpful. I've done it with only one person, and honestly, I feel like I closed a door that shouldn't have been closed, and she probably won't think of it because I left it open, so you know where to come if you have any questions again. But she's getting married in 4 days, and I did it a couple weeks ago just because I had offered her a special for her wedding and all that kind of stuff. But it was partly from what I've heard from Rhonda and Bridget, and then also what I'd heard from Emily Roberts about one that she'd done, where she takes it away saying, I really want, our friendship is more important to me than Plexus at this time. And so I appreciate what you said, though, because I think I need to, I don't want to close any more doors. So.
I'd say it's definitely a personal call, and sometimes I think if we're at the level of, and I'm speaking of my own opinion, obviously, but if I'm a diamond where, we are at that level where we are making that kind of money, where we have this opportunity where we're like, I'll take it away because, it's almost like next, move on, and I think if I was at the diamond level where I'm like, okay, I don't have time, like I got a diamond team, I got, all these things to do. If you're not interested, I'm just gonna take you off my list. See ya, I get that. But for me, because I am just still trying to build my huge team and build all these people that I want on my team and get these deep roots and have these relationships, I personally don't like to close any of the doors. But that's just me. I mean, for them, obviously it's working. Their diamonds are at the top. So, but I'm wondering if they did that before or once they got to that level. Does that make sense? Kind of where you have more to take away, where you're like, well, I'm at the top of the company, so if you're not interested, there's a lot of people that are, I gotta go, kind of thing. But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cheryl, and thank you, Rossi, for contributing. We'll look forward to watching your journey to Emerald. We need to have a green party. Maybe we can have that green party when you bring your peeps out here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so beyond excited, honestly. And I don't know who it's going to be on my team at this point. My team is just, there's so many rock stars I can't keep up. And that's another thing that drives me too. I'm like, I want to always be the hardest worker on my team. And when you get a team of rock stars underneath you, that'll force you to do some personal growth and we'd like to work your butt off. Cause I'm like, if they're spending more than me and doing more than me, like there's a problem. I need to be the hardest worker. Like that's just my mentality. So, but we're so super excited. And thank you so much for even inviting me to be on this call and to I love being around you girls and your energy. And I just love this business so much.
Well, and thanks everybody for joining us. I want to tell you Happy New Year. We'll be having other Zoom calls. We're going to feature Rossi on the 15th and Andrea on the 22nd. So we're excited about that. Anyway, we're going to close for now. Thank you so much. And if you guys have any questions, you know where to find all of us. Mwah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.